Hey, how's it going? crystaIIene here. Before anything else, I'd like to greet you all a Merry Christmas. Whether you're spending the holidays with your friends, families, loved ones, or all alone locked in your room, I hope you're comfy cozy and in a good mood till the new year. Or, at least, for the duration of this video. It's been a while again, huh? I'm never able to put out a video anymore, aren't I? When was the last time I uploaded? It must have been a while. Oh. It's the holidays again, so I decided to upload for once. To put up a speed paint of a cute little winter-themed drawing of two of my characters who I ship very hard, Dansuke and Shizugana, while I walk through today's video. A little bit about the drawing, I'm actually getting it done a lot slower than I thought I would. I was originally going to color it digitally for a small contest in a messenger art group, but I couldn't, so I submitted the traditional sketch. I drew this well in class, because y'all know how bored we can get. What sucks is how I don't actually have winter here in the Philippines. Can someone tell me what it's like? It's cold and it's white. So anyway, have you ever written a letter to Santa Claus which sounds a little something like this? Dear Santa, this Christmas I wish for amazing skills in art, and you better give it to me this time. Last year I still couldn't even draw stick people, and I blame you for it. Love, a very ambitious yet pessimistic aspiring young artist. Yeah, me neither. I'm just looking for a good transition. But for sure, we've all wished our art was better. We've all wished for improvement, heck, for better materials, expensive tools like pencils or a drawing tablet just so we can draw better. The point is, we've all wanted to be better artists. But being a good artist actually has nothing to do with what you use to draw. It all depends on your attitude towards art. And this doesn't even just apply to visual artists. It goes for musicians, singers, actors, dancers, teachers, police officers. These ideals, I want to state, apply to all those who want to get better at their passions and careers. Therefore today, I'm going to list down those points and ideals and try to explain them as best as I can, and maybe one day we can all look forward to the day that we meet these ideals. Please take note that just because I made this video does not mean I view myself as what I call a good artist. I just made this video to compile my ideals and jot down the points I want to improve in myself, as well as things I see in other people that I wish I could also see in me, and share these ideals with you guys. It's kind of hard to enumerate all of these since this is my first time making this type of video. All of these points have always only ever been abstract thought, but I hope my efforts are worth it. So, without further ado, let's head on straight to number 1. Work with what you have. I have seen a few people in that messenger art group complaining about how bad their tools are, and others bragging or intently wishing to have expensive tools like Prismacolors, Copics, or a Wacom bamboo tablet. And this even goes as simple as comparing the performance of a mechanical pencil to a normal, let's say, number 2 pencil. And yes, while there are tools that were made to perform better than others, it really is all up to how you become resourceful and utilize whatever you have to its limits, heck, beyond them if you wanted to. And when you work with what you have to learn to be satisfied with it, because if it's really all you have, then it might as well be with you for the long run. You don't need expensive tools to be a good artist. Don't you think it's a waste for someone who can only draw stick people to have expensive markers? Similarly, just because you have expensive tools doesn't mean that you can automatically draw better. You'd still need to practice with them to get used to working with them. That's why you tend to feel more comfortable sketching with a ballpoint pen you carry around in your pencil case than with a limited edition watercolor pencil. And if you already have expensive materials, well, good for you. I'm not saying at all to ditch those materials either. I mean, their companies have to make money somehow, right? But seriously, if you have something like Copics, go for it. Draw your metaphorical butts off and practice. Which leads me to point numero dos to becoming a good artist. Practice. I cannot stress this enough. In general, if you want to become good at something, you have to practice it. Do it over and over again until you get better than the last time you did it. There's a famous Bruce Lee quote that I carry around with me a lot, and you may have heard this before. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks one time, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. And it is a quote that is applicable to any kind of practice. It's easier to apply a technique you've done many times before, and when it comes to something you've only done once, the second time will still feel quite new and challenging. Every single stroke and technique you practice will be input into your brain and muscle memory. With each time you practice, that memory gets stronger. That's why it's good to focus on strengthening your weak points. For example, inside the classroom, there are many times when our teachers would ask us which parts of the lesson we still have trouble understanding so that they can explain them to us again, and as well as answer other questions that we have about the lesson. Yeah, a lot of us students aren't very responsive in those moments, but it teaches me that it's a normal and very applicable kind of practice to go over where you're lacking and get better. If anything, it's basically common sense. Even these teachers of ours practice. Like, we can notice that more experienced teachers tend to give a better teaching experience than newer ones. And sometimes it seems as if practicing 1,000 times isn't even enough because you'd feel as if you can always get better. Then, in that case, get better. Practice 1,001 more times. Hear me out. There will be a point in time, there will be a lot of points in time when you'd feel as if all of your efforts aren't enough and you need to become more. And that's okay. Practice is a good thing. But there's also such a thing as too much practice. A point where you stress yourself so much that you aren't doing any good for your mental state. And that's not okay. That brings me to point 3. Know when to rest. I know I told you to practice 1,001 more times if you feel as if what you currently have isn't enough, but tomorrow is another day. My mom tells me this a lot when she catches me staying up late doing whatever it is I stay up late for, and she's right. Tomorrow is another day. People say not to stop when you're tired, but to stop when you're done. But this isn't stopping, it's resting. It's very healthy to put down a project, call it a day, and leave it for you to finish in the succeeding days. There's a mentality that a lot of people carry to live as if tomorrow doesn't exist because you only live once after all, but there's only so much you can do in a day. Which leads me to my 4th point. Learn to manage your time. This is something I'm very bad at. It's something a lot of people are bad at. Laziness and procrastination are very common to the working human being. Some are good at controlling them, while for others, not so much. I've been scolded a lot and put down by others for my bad time management. There was a time last year when we had a group project that was a comic that they left me to finish. I fell asleep right after getting home from school that day, and the presentation was the day after. I woke up the next day, tried to finish it, and ended up coming to school an hour before we were to present. We ended up having to meet up while the class before was going on to finish it. Yeah, don't be like me. There have been countless other times when I almost brought down an entire group because of my bad time management. And that is definitely not okay. Have a schedule, a daily routine, and stick to it. Know your limits in terms of capabilities as well as your time limits. Know what you have to prioritize first and finish before moving on to the next. And don't forget the previous point. Know when to rest, because you'll have more time to do it the next day. The last point that I want to talk about in today's video is something I haven't done in a while. Finish. This is what all these 4 points lead up to. Work with what you have, practice, know when to rest, manage your time, and finish. Bad time management is usually what hinders me from reaching this last point. I've put off so many drawings, I've put off writing so many scripts for videos, I've put off writing the next chapters to my stories, and I feel so bad, so unaccomplished when I don't finish. Sometimes it's because I lose interest, or I have to do something else, or I just somehow don't want to finish. But let me tell you, finishing is great. It wraps up all your efforts, and you can take a step back and get a view of the big picture. When you finish, you can give yourself a pat on the back and say, I'm done. There's an end to everything, and everything takes up time and effort. Finishing that last step is really the cherry on top of the cake. To finish is a big accomplishment. Being a good artist is being accomplished. It's having a portfolio. It's finishing. And when you finish, you get to do it all over again. The effort, the blood, sweat, and tears you put into your work, it'll all be worth doing over again. It opens up new doors of opportunity. That's what life is like, really. There are many reasons why people set off fireworks on the New Year. Here in the Philippines, it's mostly to chase away evil spirits and welcome good luck for the New Year. For me, it's a sign of finishing. It's a sign of accomplishment that says, we made it, we made it, we made it, I made it, here's to another job well done. Finishing off and starting over with a bang. This part, well, this entire video really, was mostly a message for myself because I really want to get better. I don't want to give out any more excuses that I'm being hard on myself and my mental state isn't good and therefore I can't get anything done. I want to get better, and I will get better. And I hope I made you, whoever is watching this, want to become better as well. I hope I was able to express my ideals clearly, that I was able to convey my thoughts and somehow be able to help you realize your ideals too. This is my first time making this kind of video, and I think I took a risk choosing this topic and title, but I'm glad I went with it, because even while writing the script, I'm able to learn new things on my own. I'm glad I was able to finish. But I'm not exactly done. Oh no, I've got a part 2 coming for you. These first points focus on a lot of personal improvement ideals. The next video will be a bit shorter, I think, but I'll try to communicate more ideals, so kind of focus on working with those around you.
You mean people?
Yes, people. I don't know when I'll get that out, but hopefully I'll have something early into 2018. So, thank you so much for listening to me talk and watching me draw. I'd like to know your thoughts on my finished product and, most importantly, on the video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and most importantly, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, or whatever it is you're celebrating at this time of the year. And, if it's not the holidays when you watch this, I hope you're having a good day anyway. Good wishes for the new year, and thanks for watching. Bye!
But I don't like people.
Oh, shut up!